Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon, actually, right? I guess for some people, depending on where you're at, it is morning. But it is just a few minutes afternoon here. Hi. Sorry, y'all. Oh, man. So I used to get my eyelashes done. If you've never had eyelash extensions, it was a fun way to treat myself because you would go and take a nap and you would wake up and you would have these like amazing eyelashes. But I could never really scratch my eyeballs because, well, your lashes would fall off. So, or they would get messed up. So, one thing that I just love and am so grateful for now is that I'm so close to the camera. Is that I can scratch my eyeballs. Hi, how are you? I'm okay. It's Monday. I'm hungry, so it's a good thing it's lunchtime. I've got my lunch. Hashtag eat like a middle schooler. How are you? I'm here in Texas, North Texas, almost Oklahoma, where the weather is literally like bing bonging. It's like ridiculous. It's cold and then it's hot and it's like freezing and then it's sunny and you could be swimming. It's crazy. So, it's cold, like my body's just like cold. But that's my only complaint, right? It's a pretty good Monday. How are y'all out in the interwebs? We're live here on TikTok, but we're here on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. The cool thing about technology is how it can kind of bring us all together. Hello. Hi, Miss Maddie Ferris. We have heaps of snow. Woo! Woo, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. Mm-mm. 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 Ooh. That bread is like sweet. I don't like snow. Mm-mm. Although. You don't like it either? Mm. And so I'm sending you like love because to not like it and to live in it. Whew. What is my favorite food? Okay. Favorite food? Cacio e pepe. You love snow? I can't handle adulting? Man. Okay, so there's a comment over here on Instagram where someone's in a lot of snow and they said, I can't believe why anyone would walk here so many years ago. And I relate to that thought because we were recently out in New Mexico in Santa Fe in the mountains, right? Where I'm at in Texas, it is flat AF. That's why there's like tornadoes all the time, right? Because it's just so flat. So we don't often, like, mountains aren't just in my backyard. We have to go and seek out mountains. So here we are, the mountains are just kind of like everywhere in Santa Fe where you look. And I had this thought of like, can you imagine being the people going west, like back in the day? Can you imagine being them and coming up to those mountains and being like, now what? What are we supposed to do? And then being the asshole that was like, I think we can go over it. Come on, let's keep going. What's on the other side? I would have not been that person. I would have been the one like, you know what? I think it looks really good right here. I love waking up in the morning to this view. I want to let y'all get to the other side and you can send me a postcard when you land. But can you imagine that? Like just seeing something for the first time? this is a good place to live. Fuck no. I mean, it is a good place to live, just if, like, you don't like snow. But there's someone over here on TikTok who's saying they love snow. So, you know, I think it might be a dream come true. We have somebody from Virginia. Michael from the other room nodded in approval of yes, would love snow. So, you know, it's all a matter of like perspective, but whoo, it is not, when you have to like be in it, live in it, like get out in it and layer in it, that's what sucks. That's what I hate about it. I love to look at it, but I don't want to have to deal with it. You'd rather have snow than tornadoes. Ooh. Ooh. Mm. Would I rather have snow or tornadoes? You know what? I think I'd rather have tornadoes. I know that's crazy, but I've like that's normal for me, you know, like, I mean, they're not as terrible here as some other places, but like snow, I can't take it. Okay, so yes, ICA 1982. Aren't you in Sweden? Am I saying it right? Did I get it right? Sweden? I always get Switzerland and Sweden mixed up, and I know I shouldn't. And I if there's like a way to learn to differentiate between the two, I really struggle with that. But you are in one of those countries, and the sun stays up for 24 hours a day. I think that would be really cool. I do think that would be really cool, but doesn't it also then make up on the other side where it's dark for a really, really, really long time too? In June, it's dark. Oh my gosh, that's like our summertime. So the world is so crazy. So we visited Iceland on a trip not a few years ago. Same thing. They have like, you know, the sun will be up for 24 hours a day or not. Really, really cold there. And I told my husband when we were booking the trip, I was like, I'm down for this trip, but like, just know how I feel about snow and know how I feel about cold. So we went like March, end of March. So it was like right at the end of their like season, and it was perfect. There was sun, there was nighttime. It was cold, but it also wasn't like freezing. Oh no, it was freezing cold. I was able to tolerate it. I enjoyed that trip. I might have complained, but I really tried not to, because I really enjoyed myself, even in the cold. Do I have any book recommendations on the topic of eating disorders? Yes. Great question. I'm going to take a bite of my lunch and then I'll answer it. It is a gaming chair. So the books I recommend, if you have an eating disorder or want to learn about an eating disorder, I would suggest 8 Keys. 8 Keys to Living with an Eating Disorder by Carolyn Costin. I always recommend to parents to read, oh my gosh, what was that book? Oh my gosh. It's my favorite book, and my brain just went blank because I feel like an idiot. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about it because it really is my favorite book, and it's from a mother's perspective. Her daughter's living with an eating disorder, and I love it because I just think that parents need to sometimes, hear about the struggle and be able to kind of know that they're not alone, and because parents feel so guilty and they shouldn't and they still do, and then they have a lot to learn and they make a lot of mistakes. And hi, so I do think the 8 key workbook is useful. Listen, I think that get yourself as much information as you can, right? Like, I think that if you can learn more, is that going to maybe fix you or cure you? I don't know, right? It's not like the magic wand, that book, but I do think that it's a book that gives, I use that book, the 8 keys, for like a presentation that I gave. It's really cool because it has like the 10 phases of eating disorder recovery, and I love kind of putting like a treatment plan, like a treatment model together based on those 10 oh my god, 10. I should know this because it's in my presentation. The presentation is called Living in the Gray. You can get it at recovery-academy.com. It's an on-demand course where I break down the 10 like steps, the 10 steps for recovery, what that looks like, and kind of the different like thinking errors and how to get unstuck, if you will, or things to help you kind of move on or move forward, if that's the right language to help you feel motivated. Also, another book is of course, the intuitive eating book is great. The intuitive eating workbook is really great. Also, Jenny Schaefer's book, Life Without Ed, is really great. Jenny Schaefer actually has a couple of books, but I can't think of the other one's name. The Fuck It Diet is good. Body Kindness is good. I do have a case that's changed my life forever. It's not just one. I think that I have, when I look back at my career at like different places or phases, this is a great question. You say, you can't talk about cases, but do I have a case that changed my life forever? But you asking that question brings to mind some in particular who I think I learned a lot from. One that's coming to mind is, in fact, the case study that I used to get my certified eating disorder specialization certification. I had to do a case study. That person, I think, really made me the therapist that I am today, challenged me in a lot of great ways, hard ways. We went through a lot together. This client in particular, it was great, but hard. So I will remember some and be grateful when I remember them because they made me a better therapist. A book here is Almost Anorexic. Is a good book. My dog is over here begging for food. Y'all can see him in one camera. Fenway. He's such a butthole. He's eaten. He is not. Fuck It Diet. I would buy that just for the title. Isn't it a great title? It's great. What else is good? Brave Girl Eating. That's the book. Dogs are supposed to be buttholes. That one specifically, he pouted, oh, like, because we had rain this weekend, and he like threw it, like, people temper tantrums. Yeah, he's over here pouting. Have I ever cried in a session? I have. I tell all my clients, all feelings are okay, and however we express those feelings is okay, and crying is a natural, normal expression of a feeling, and that there have been times when I've shed a tear and like just like compassion with a client. There's been times when I've very much related to what a client was sharing. Y'all, I went through the pandemic myself. We lost a loved one during the pandemic, in addition to had other like griefs and life, like I have life too, right? And so there's been times when that's just, I've really related. I've been in my own therapy, I do consultation, I do supervision. So I don't think it's appropriate for a therapist to like sob in session with the client or to make that emotion about them. I think it's more of just a, yep, sorry, I'm feeling it, I'm in the feeling, here's what I'm feeling, and this is an expression, and really, going back to the client's experience of that feeling. But we need to normalize and humanize feelings. All of them are okay. And so I can't, if I'm really truly saying that and I'm trying to be like, like the healer of feelings, I then can't dismiss my own feelings when I have them, and I can't exile other people's feelings in the room. So we kind of have to that's what making space means, right? It's kind of like this like compassion, non-judgment, awareness, understanding of like, there might be feelings here, but we're working to keep our our expression of feelings appropriate, right? And we can learn how to be appropriate, and that's sometimes what we do in sessions. But do I have a therapist? I do. I haven't been in a while, I'll admit that, because they really did me a great job. But I have therapist, consultation, coaching, supervision, usually going all of the time. Yes. And I love my therapist. She's great. She's so great. Mm-hmm. Great question. Any tips on not letting stressful times, for example, exams, not affect your eating? Y'all, here's the bottom line. Our minds and our bodies are connected. You are allowed to be stressed, but it's knowing how you feel, right? How you show up, how you experience stress. And that stress can and does significantly affect our appetites, making some of us more hungry. And we need to honor that. We're allowed to care for that feeling, right? Stress can also make us want to eat less. So it's knowing that about yourself, right? And kind of thinking a little bit ahead of like, okay, I get stressed out for exams. I know stress makes me feel and react and show up this way. So how can I be prepared? Well, I'm going to make sure I take study breaks where I, schedule in every couple of hours, like a legit break to grab something to eat. Having snacks and food available. Don't make it where it's like, well, make it, pull it out of your bag, or can easily run and get something, or, warm it up, eat a sandwich and chips. Like, it doesn't have to be mac and cheese, like ramen, like it doesn't have to be special, right? It's just scheduling that time and really giving yourself that permission. And again, having like snacks and food available, or, are there roommates or people in your life who you can, they go to lunch or they go to dinner, and you kind of just let them know, hey, whenever, you go to lunch, hit me up. I'm going to come with you, right? So it's okay that it affects us. It sucks that it affects us, right? So how can you maybe take some steps to plan for it beforehand? And then how do you manage your stress, right? There's lots of things we can do mentally to manage our stress. We can, do time management. We can make lists. There are things we can do to emotionally manage our stress. We can journal, we can meditate, we can do yoga, we can do some kind of like fun body movement. We can go to therapy, we can cry, we can vent. There's lots of things so it's also knowing that it's okay to do those things, right? And making it a priority and scheduling time to do those things to take care of yourself, because you're allowed to like manage our stress. Our bodies aren't meant to be in these ongoing stress states. Every once in a while it's fine and like get there and it's cool and like use that energy and then recognize, okay, like I can't stay here. So here are things I'm doing to like balance it out, right? To try to keep me, able to like snap back and rebound and be able to like keep me elastic, right? I have to be able to release some of that tension in order to keep it flexible. Okay, friends. So I'm looking at the time and you know that I would love to stay here with y'all for a lot longer. Y'all ask great questions. This is really fun, but I do have an afternoon of clients and my lunch was not very well eaten. So I'm going to do some self-care, sign off, and finish my lunch and watch some Housewives, okay? So y'all take care, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.